when you put a story away and you pull it out and you look at it, it's like those fresh eyes are so fresh. Like I was noticing even like spelling mistakes, like really easy like stuff that just should have been noticed, and looking at it, and you know the plot was off and the structure was off, and it's almost like if once you drag it out the drawer, it's like someone else has written it. And you know it really works as a technique to shelve something for a little while and then come back to it later, and you know it astounds me every time.
Oh yeah, like so we talked about that last night, and it was really funny getting the reaction because none of the people in this particular class that I was teaching had ever heard about trying to do that. And so here I am, you know, we're like, all right, so this is how we're going to do our editing. First thing, we're going to just do this really big bird's eye view of it and take a look, and we're going to kind of note some things that that don't sound exactly right, and then we're going to put all those papers and shove them into a drawer, and we're going to walk away for a minimum of 2 weeks. And they're like, what? Like, It's like, no, seriously, your mind's going to be working on how to solve these problems. Your mind's going to be thinking about all this other stuff that's going on subconsciously. Go ahead and write something else new. You know, keep writing every day. But then when you come back to that, it's, yeah, exactly like you were saying, it's such a fresh set of eyes, like it's someone else's work.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is difficult to do because you're so giddy at that point about the work that I mean, I had, you know, and when I finished it, and then when I look back over it and I was editing it, and I realized that the plot was really similar to a popular BBC series over here. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is just a nightmare. But then putting it away, you're like, oh my God, it's already been done. It's like especially in fantasy, it's like you've just got to watch out for cliches more than anything. But then coming back with those fresh eyes, and you sort of like, no, I can do this, I can handle it, and you know, you feel ready to get back to work on it, and you're like, all those problems that seemed so big upon completion have kind of shrunk a little bit when you've just put it in the drawer and you know, you deny it the daylight.
Yeah, you know, it's just simmering, and yeah, it makes it so much better. And just like you're saying, you know, with you came out and you say that you know, the plot represented a BBC show that was out there. I think that's a really good thing. It's a really good segue into today's topic, you know, because we can generate these ideas. And sometimes we do feel really frustrated when we find out someone else has also done it at the same time, or we've just subconsciously have created something that that maybe we watched somewhere else.
I hadn't even watched it, but yeah, it's found its way in there somehow.
Yeah, that's one of the funny things. Like a lot of times, I definitely want to read in the genre that I write, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to read in the genre that I write because I'm afraid I'm going to read someone else's book that's exactly like my book that's not out yet.
And you always have the defense if someone says, "Oh, you've just copied it," and you're like, "Well, actually, I've never read that book.
I've never read it. Keep away from it." Exactly, you know. So. It happened to my brother too. Like sometimes it can be happening on completely different sides and in different fields. So he programs video games for Android and iPhones, and he was in the very end stages of developing and putting this game together about a spy mouse. I don't think it was called Spy Mouse, but then another game came out from like a much larger company that was about a mouse who was a spy as well. And so he ended up just having to scratch the whole thing because it just was just too similar. Yeah. So, but if you have those ideas that they're similar, they're maybe a little bit different enough, you can shelve that for a while and come back to it. Like we're saying, shelve it for a decade and come back and people have forgotten about the other ones. And then it seems fresh. And
or when you've got some new twist to put on it, something original to add to it. Yeah.
Exactly. Because Mackenzie, who's working for us this semester, she just wrote an article about making your minor characters better. And this was one of the things that she mentioned in there. It's like, well, everything is done already. I mean, we see these same archetypes in everything, but it's what you add to it, you know, that makes it different and unique. So let's talk about how we're going to generate those unique ideas and those different ideas, and then figure out which ones can work for us and which ones aren't. And also, taking a look at our manuscripts and seeing the story that we've put in there and trying to figure out why it's not working with what we're trying to sell or what we're trying to design.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to jump right in there with one, or did you got one? Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I've written down here, read, watch, play, and read. Now that can be like summed up into just basically like consume. And I think like, thinking of it kind of like, you want to make a meal, and you can't make a meal without ingredients. And like the more you put in, the more you get out. And I think, reading, whether, you, like you say, you don't perhaps like to read in your genre, read outside your genre, watch stuff, play games, whatever like gets the imagination going. I think it's first and foremost like stoking the fire of your imagination. And I think the best way to do that is to just consume. And for me, it's kind of like a juicer. Like I might throw like 2 barrels of fruit in there and get like a little shot of juice out. But it tastes good.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.